Hello! One moment, I have to fix my fan. Okay. Hello! Today, we are continuing Ace Attorney. I was not initially planning on streaming today, but then I had time, so we're gonna continue. We are playing every time it does not want to show the game. There we go. We are continuing case 4. I'm smart this time. I have my tea with me already. Instead of at the end of the stream, I have my tea now, so I can drink it as we go. All right. We just, on Friday, we finished questioning Blaze the Best. Speak of the devil. And now we're in the committee room and the committee chamber. And we're gonna get in trouble, I guess. I do love how undetailed all of just the generic judges are compared to Blaze and Verity and Sebastian and Kay and Lotta and Edgeworth. Because they do not look like they belong. 10 members, over a majority, are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We are gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Here, in the sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment. Fair and frank? But don't make me laugh. Verity, if you would be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth. On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of investigating... On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman DeBest. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, 1K Faraday, is innocent of all charges. Perhaps you could explain the detail of the murder to us as well. Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by... Dude, Von Karma would... If Von Karma survived to the point where Franziska and Miles could cut off contact from him, he would complain about his kids not visiting and be like, why don't my kids visit me? I've done nothing wrong! I was a great parent! Perfect, in fact! Me, Sebastian DeBest, Premier Prosecutor. The floor is yours, Mr. DeBest. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. I can't take them seriously with the masks. The Blue Badger one is ridiculous. The Pink Princess one is almost as much. These two feel more fitting of an illicit auction. The same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. You have redeemed yourself for last stream. Ringer took part in the auction, I think. Yeah. Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. Oh, sorry, wait, that was Verity, not Sebastian, sorry. For some reason, she spoke during his explanation. meaning the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not, in fact, the auctioneer. You deduced nothing of the sort. Edgeworth is so salty. I love that for him. Ow, ow, ow. My tea's still hot. Ow. I brought tea so that I could drink it throughout the stream instead of just like at the end like I'd been doing, so that hopefully I don't kill my voice as much. It was too hot to drink. I burned my tongue. And what about the basis of which the suspect was detained, Mr. DeBest? Yeah, I got this. So, Faraday was overcome by, crushing remorse, Sebastian. Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. Do people drink tea, like, straight from the kettle? Like, is that a thing? Like, my tea's been sitting for a few minutes, so I thought it would be cool. But do people just pour it in their mouth? Obviously not. That would be insane, drinking hot water straight from the kettle. That would be ridiculous. But, like, do people just pour it in their cup and go? I mean, I guess you could boil it so it's, like, less warm, but still, that sounds insane. Dude, let it steep. Let it steep. It needs to steep. First and foremost, it needs to steep. You need to let your tea steep. Oh, I'm really sounding like Edgeworth now. And that person was Miss Ringer, I take it. Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. But where's your evidence, Verity? But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. We don't know that was Rosie! And who won the race to find that? God, I can't talk. It's because I burned my tongue. And who won the race to find that raincoat nearby? Me. That's who. Okay. Tea is a topic to be pedantic about. It has to steep. You have to let the tea steep, or you're just drinking hot water. If you don't let the tea steep, you're literally just drinking hot water. It's gotta steep. You don't get leaf water by not letting it steep. Did you? I thought it was somebody from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. DeBest's command. I knew it. The blood analysis on the coat showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it. The blood analysis... Okay, so her murderer was wearing the coat and the blood splashed on it. Cool. I am so excited for the most glorious Ace Attorney beatdown ever. And the suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. She confirmed having committed the murder. Kay doesn't have her memories. This is thrown out because she confessed under duress. So as you can see, Kay Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it. All right, Miles. I expect you have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we? I have no objections, Chairman DeBest. Well now, is that so? I thought it would have... I love Edgeworth so much! Well now, if that's so, I thought it would have taken more than a single night of detention to break you. No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty. I love that Edgeworth can't let... Edgeworth refuses to let have the upper hand in this matter. Blaze does not get the upper hand in this matter. And Edgeworth is so right for that. Edgeworth is so petty. I love him.
Overruled.
I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. DeBest's investigation was fair and impartial. Of course it was. When it comes to careful conduct, my brain is not working with this sentence, but that's fine. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time. You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If, and this is purely hypothetical, of course, you were to withdraw your objections, you might wake up tomorrow to find your... Wow! Wow! Oh, now I know you're dirty through and through! Oh! Oh, this man's dirty through and through! Yeah, no, Miles basically got a confession from Blaze on the matter that he framed Kay. It's just no one was around, and apparently the detention center does not have cameras. So I assume the in-universe explanation is Blaze has everybody in his pocket. Dude probably just had them delete the footage. You might wake up tomorrow to find yourself a proud owner of a seat on this committee. Edgeworth is ready to slap a bitch. So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? If you think you can buy my silence, think again. No, Verity, that's exactly what Blaze tried to do. He tried to buy Edgeworth's silence with a seat on the committee. That is straight up what he did. No, yeah, if Edgeworth is going down, he's dragging everyone down with him, and I love him for that. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. Edgeworth is so petty, I love him! I didn't come here to talk about committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on this incident is. You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well. If it will make you happy. Verity, please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case. Really? But, sir... This will be his last hurrah. So let's humor him with the send-off he desires. If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Evidence data received from Judge Gavel. Alright, I want to make sure I got all my shit back and you gave it to me correctly. Alright. Alright. That would be insane, though. That would be like the best thing ever if when they gave you back your evidence, you were either missing a piece or the statements had been changed, hinting that they tampered with it. Yeah, no, Blaze's mistake was giving Edgeworth a chance. I am curious, though, and I don't want a firm answer here, I'm just speaking aloud, because there is one more case after this, and I assumed Blaze's defeat would be the Von Karma of it all, where it's in the last case. But it seems like we're gearing up for a Blaze defeat here. So, which I'm curious if, and again, I don't want confirmation on this, I'm just speaking aloud. I'm curious if, it's gonna be like Dual Destinies, right? It's the fifth game. I always forget if it's Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice. Where, I think it's Dual Destinies, where the last two cases are like a two-parter. I'm curious if this one's gonna be like a two-parter as well. Hey, my tea's cool enough to drink now. Oh, that feels so good on my throat. Blaze's voice is the worst. I need my tea for this guy. You have no objections to Verity representing the committee, I assume? None whatsoever. Mr. Edgeworth, don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. All right. The committee's view on the case. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. Okay. I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. Okay, so the red raincoat is the one from the first case, right? It has to be. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. But why would she want it? Also, like we need an internal investigation now. The auction was held in this room, and one of your committee members was a buyer. So, like, the only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she merged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her friend went out, and thus concludes the committee's view on the case. The amount of problems I have with that testimony could... Oh, God, what's a good saying for when you... If I had a nickel for every problem I had with that testimony, I'd be able to buy a whole lot of stuff. I'd have a whole lot more than 2 nickels. The raincoat was an offer that night. Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zheng Fa, so... The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. It should, of course, remain safely under lock and key in the appropriate facilities. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under mysterious circumstances. And wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose. No, Francisca is losing her mind quietly in a corner somewhere as she tries to figure out how the fuck to proceed with any of this. Miles is in prison, Kay is in prison. Or the detention center, I suppose. The committee's being the worst. She's finding out evidence from, like, so many cases have been stolen. Francisca needs a drink. Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever. You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat? I'll do no such thing. Thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. It is. Why? So, Verity doesn't agree with this, right? Like, it's very clear that she's being super manipulated by Blaze. Like, incredibly manipulated. So she doesn't agree with the K angle, does she? I feel like she doesn't. But she can't do anything because it's coming directly from Blaze, and he's the worst. Yeah, no, Francisca needs a whole bottle of wine. Let that girl have a whole bottle of wine. She deserves it after all the bullshit she's been through. It is. Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to? Alright. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale, so our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she merged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her friend went out, and thus concludes the committee's view on the case. Okay, so this one's... Unless this is the press everything, this statement is nothing. Yeah, my question here is, what is Verity's angle? She either... I either see her as directly trying to take Blaze down, and like you're saying, using Kay as a way to make sure Miles is on the case. Or all of this is mostly a coincidence, and for whatever reason, Blaze picked Kay as the scapegoat for this murder, and to cover up everything and get it all wrapped up. But Verity knows that's not right, and so she's trying to, like, make sure Miles figures it out and gets it all sorted, because she doesn't have the power to stand up to Blaze. Alright. Okay, Miss Ringer attended as a potential buyer. Why would she? Why? In other words, a member of the committee was actively involved in the illegal evidence trade. It is unfortunate. I don't know what else to say. And of course, we'll be looking into any such activities just as soon as this hearing is over and done with. Hey, Blaze! How do I know you're not involved in this illegal evidence trade? How do I know that, sir? Oh yeah, no. Regardless of the outcome, Miles is having words with Verity. I commend your decision to pursue the matter further, Mr. Chairman. Oh, don't be silly, Verity. It's the least we can do, really. Not that it's any of your business, Miles. Not anymore. If only you had remained a prosecutor. But you didn't. Now, if we're quite done making an old man cry over this whole sad affair. Very well. Allow me to continue. Okay, so he's gonna be the worst during this. The raincoat was one of the items up for sale.
Hold it!
I get some of the other evidence, but, like, unless you're a Shelley the Killer diehard fan, I see no reason to actually want the raincoat. But, of course, Miles isn't going to question that angle. Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase? Because of the auction house rules. How do you know the auction house rules, Gavel? Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately. Miss Hart told us pretty much the same thing. Miss Ringer, having paid for the raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules.
Hold it!
Miss Ringer was a member of the committee. Could she not have left the committee chamber via the main door? While the auction was still underway? That would risk exposing its existence to those outside the trusted circle of attendees. Given that Miss Hart found out about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed. The rules of the auction state that if the attendees were to enter and leave via the exit hatch in the roof. Ms. Ringer had no reason not to follow those rules. And given where the murder took place, we know that she must have done so. But the blood! But the blood! There's no blood on the roof! And even if, okay, it was raining when the murder happened, yes, but blood doesn't just go bye-bye like that. And this game, the case is acknowledging that based off of the luminol we were playing with. Blood remains even after you wipe it off with water. And traces of it still remain. You have to get rid of it, you have to clean it with, like, bleach and shit. Like, you can't just go bye-bye blood with water. So, like, I propose we take luminol up to the roof and see if there's any blood up there.
Hold it!
But why? What possible motive could Kay have had? That is exactly what we're hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday. Kay, don't say anything. Kay, request a lawyer. Corrosive. I can't talk. A corrosive investigation after the fact. Interrogation. God damn it. Corrosive interrogation after the fact is something you seem to specialize in. If If the murderer knew what the attendees would all be if the murderer knew that the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. Also, wait. I don't think it's what we're gonna press here, but my problem with this is this raincoat is covered in mud, and like, you would obviously be suspicious of someone walking past you wearing the raincoat. Like, I feel like if you're leaving the secret auction, you'd secretly hide your purchase. Yeah, no, they're trying to coerce Kay into making a confession under duress, which is exactly what they did to Mr. Tangro in the last case, where they like basically forced him to make a testimony that he committed the crime. Super illegal, super not cool. But I mean, the committee seemingly has done worse. Then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So I was saying, after that, she emerged onto the viewing platform. That's when Miss Ringer was attacked.
Hold it!
Her flame went out. The flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth, though perhaps her flame was stolen from her, is more apt.
Objection!
But the candelabra that extinguished her life was one of the auction locks. Meaning Kay had no way of getting a hold of it to begin with. Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. So she could have easily snuck down the ladder and stolen it while the auction was underway. If only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction. I'm gonna murder you, Blaze the Best. The base is a very unique shape. If it were removed from a dusty shelf or something, it would be immediately obvious what had been standing there. Oh, most certainly. Everyone on this committee should be fired immediately. How do I prove that the candle was taken before, or like, how do I prove where the candle was? Illicit auction held in big building. Huh. If only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction. That would surely clear the matter up, no? Well, either of you? Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us much on that front at the moment. Forgive me, sir. This is something we are hoping to establish through further investigation. Well, isn't that a shame, Miles, my boy? Seems this line of inquiry is something of a dead end, then, isn't it? So they're serious that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place? In other words, it assumes that the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. It would have to be something with the dust, but I don't have evidence to point to that is the problem here. Edgeworth didn't write that down in his notebook. Write down the fact that the murder weapon was from the room. Stupid man. I still love him, but he's stupid. But is that really the case? I thought I had evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Time to double check. Okay, so it is... Okay, which statement then? Was of course... So it would be this one. Blood was detected on the secret elevator. It looks like it dripped through to the floor below. Box in which the killer hit the body. Traces of blood were detected inside. Blood found in the committee chamber. Was it placed there to hide the existence of the storeroom? I'm gonna just try the elevator blood. Fuck. Nope. Okay. Would you mind taking a look at this, Judge Gallo? Am I expected to accept this as evidence? It appears to have no connection to my testimony. That's fair, that's fair. He was dealing with Kay being a wanted criminal. Judge Gravel is a tougher nut to crack than Mr. DeBest. But that doesn't mean I should give up. Okay, shortly thereafter, her flame went out. This one's directly mentioning the time of death, and it's the wording here sucks. Okay, wait, Lotta saw the murder take place. Is that what we're pointing out here? That Lotta, like, well, she didn't see it, she heard it take place, but Lotta heard the murder take place. I could see it being Lotta's statement. I like reading all the lines because they do tell a lot about the character. There have been a few times where I've angrily clicked through them because I've been upset by a mistake, but I do try to read everything. I think it's important to read everything, especially in games like Ace Attorney, where their storytelling is largely through words. I think reading all the words is important. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view on the case. The wording of shortly thereafter pisses me the fuck off, because it's shortly thereafter is such a vague amount of time. Shortly thereafter could be 2 minutes to 2 hours. Or I guess not 2 hours, but like 2 minutes to like 30 minutes. So the body could have been moved or done anything within shortly thereafter. I'm gonna present Lotta's testimony here.
Objection!
But there's a clear contradiction in your testimony, Judge Gavel. Silence. Such statements will not be tolerated by this court. And why not? What precisely is wrong with my statement? For one thing, the fact that you clearly do not believe it for yourself. Is that obvious? Okay, I might have been being a little insane with the 30 minutes, but like shortly thereafter could be like, yeah, like 2 minutes to like probably like 10-ish minutes, I feel like. And like you could do a lot with the body in that time. Okay, what do we all have that relates to the time of death? Okay, the candle doesn't mention anything. Keycard records. Probably not. A lot of statements. Would it be the plushie? Would it be the masks? A photograph of the mysterious figure in the red raincoat. Are we gonna point out that the person has blood on their hands? So, okay. So, the person already having blood on their hands shows that that either Ringer murdered someone before she left this room, or that this isn't Ringer, someone else murdered her and left wearing the coat. But where would I point that out on? This when she was attacked by Miss Faraday. The only exit from the storeroom. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for the
Objection!
Hey! Oh, I did it! I did it! Oh my god, I did it! Oh, I did it! Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Gavel. But what is this? I love Edgeworth is like, why the fuck is Lotta here? But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing? She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Oh, well now, I ain't really an eyewitness. More of an ear witness, I guess. She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she? I like to think that I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Girl, fuck off! Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. It's a photo taken by Miss Hart. Take a look at this photo. Yes. In the storeroom, correct? What of it? According to your theory, the murderer occurred up on the roof. I'd like to check it with luminol, but that's apparently besides the point. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom. Just before she took this picture. Oh, wait, you're saying Gavel got it wrong? That is exactly what I'm saying. What? Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in the picture, correct? I sure did. Clear as day, and with my own 2 eyes to boot. And what was your impression at that point? My impression? This right here is the scoop of the century, something like that. Edgeworth is so done with Lotta. Yeah, that makes sense. I was hoping more for your impression of the person in question. Oh, that there's a walking meal ticket. Oh, I love Lotta. She's hilarious. Also, like, I think this music is, like, her theme music. Because I think it's played every time she's, like we've started talking to her and stuff. I love it. It's incredible. Though all the music in Ace Attorney is, in fact, a bop. Seriously. Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done sat on your lunch. Oh, red raincoat, right? Well, I took one look at, and I thought, that's our perp right there. And therein lies the rub. For Miss Hart.
Overruled.
To have thought. Verity, do not interrupt me! For Miss Hart to have thought such a thing means that the murder occurred. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? If an explanation of the facts is that you require. If it's an explanation of the facts that you require, you need only ask, you know? What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated. You know what is related, though? Where is it, God? Why is it on page 3? It makes making a dramatic point so much harder. The blood on the hand! That is related!
Objection!
The way they order my evidence makes it so much harder for me to make dramatic points. Unrelated. You can do better than that. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even ringers? You're kidding me, right? Them folks were talking crime-related turkey. Well, my name is Lotta dang Hart. But did you hear them clearly? Well, I can't say for sure, but I can't rightly say nothing, and you know it. They was using voice changes. I done told y'all that. Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did overhear had anything to do with the murder.
Objection!
Okay, but voice changers don't make you change your sentence. Voice changers don't mean, like, I'm saying the stars are pink, but it comes out as the stars that, like, trees are green or whatever fucking shit. Voice changers don't do that. They just make your voice sound different. If Lotta heard the people going, oh yeah, we just killed this bitch, Then she heard them saying we just killed this bitch. You don't need to yell objection in order to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavel. Oh, that's... Edgeworth is out for blood. Voice changers and masks are fairly, common. I've never worn any because I don't like masks. I don't like my face being, like, squished. Ugh. But, like, my family's worn masks for Halloween before. And, some of them have voice changers, and you can also, like, just insert them. Voice changers are a lot smaller than... Like, they're also not teeny tiny, but, like, it's fairly easy to put a voice changer in the mouse section of the Jammin' Ninja mask, for example. Nonsense. Verity's the best of us, my boy. The very best. And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have had anything to do with the murder. Even supposing that that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. Point out the blood! Point out the blood! This proves that the incident happened before the victim went up to the roof. The blood! Y'all are blind! We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yes, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she told us about the blood she saw on this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, it recontextualizes everything. The presence of the blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim too. And this picture tells us that the victim was the ringleader, struck the killer, survived the attack. Huh. It wouldn't be struck the killer because she wouldn't be walking away if she had only managed to hit the killer. The ringleader one seems unimportant at the moment, so I'm going to say survived the attack. There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wound she had sustained. What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound? Sebby baby, there's no stabs on her hand. She just touched it. The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. DeVest. I imagine she used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right. Well, impossible to tell from this angle. The victim was already mortally wounded here. Oh. Well, that certainly would change things, wouldn't it? It very much would. Not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken. After the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. Girl, this is Ace Attorney. Coincidences are, like, by and large, the most common thing in the world. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, that, or pretending not to remember it. What? What fact am I forgetting? I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery. Dad! Gavel works for me! Sweet baby boy. Baby, Sebby, come stand over here by me. I don't want you near that man. Get away from him. Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job. Yeah, Courtney, have you ever been to trial once? Coincidences are like the most common thing. You really are a total, utter embarrassment. I'm not. I hate to break it to you, but you both are. Go to it, Gavel. Put Edwith out of his misery. As you wish. Alright. What am I forgetting? Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a three-armed candelabra. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Yeah, no, Miles, why, don't move the text. Miles walks out from behind the little stand he's standing at, grabs Sebastian, walks and puts him over next to Kay, and it's just like, you stay here. you stay right here where you're safe from all this. You wait there. Nicely done. God, I can't talk. Nicely done, Gavel. Now Edgeworth will have to make several objections. Yes, I'm afraid I will. Yeah, no, that's been a question I've had this entire case, is why is the blood only on the tips of the candelabra when her entire chest is covered in blood? What? Why? Were you listening? Oh, I was listening. Very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Come on! Why do you always have to undermine me? That's never my intention, I assure you. I love this line. I really do love Edgeworth's characterization in these games. I love him really, like, he's not mean to Sebastian. Or he's a little mean, but that's just how Edgeworth is. But, like, he's not, like, purposely, like, just doing it for fun. He's, like, genuinely trying to make sure Sebastian is doing his job correctly. And it's great. Oh, baby, people can like you. People are allowed to be nice to you and not have, like, ulterior motives, sweetheart. It isn't? Because you do it so well yourself every single time already. Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that. Because I'm... Please, Sebastian, just stop, for goodness sake. You've already embarrassed me enough. Huh? What do you mean, Dad? Oh, baby. I want to give Sebastian a hug so bad. Okay. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know that those wounds are from... Don't we? That's right, they're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabra. I doubt anybody could survive such great wounds. If you could read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Well, let's look at the coroner's report since she's bringing it up. Preliminary findings at the time of death, sometime late at night. 3 set of puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Head injury post-mortem. Prominent burn marks on the back right of the victim's hand. So her hand's off screen right now. So my thing here is, what if she wasn't killed with the candelabra? What if she'd initially been what if she'd been stabbed? Oh, no, but it was already missing its horn. Never mind. I'm going insane here. Never mind. Scratch that. Okay, but what if she'd been stabbed by a single knife? Or, like, just something thinner than the candelabra. Not all 3. She'd been stabbed with that, and then she went up to the roof, where she collapsed in front of Kay. and then she'd later been stabbed with the candelabra after the fact. Or what if the coroner's report is wrong here, and instead of her, and what if the puncture wounds had been post-mortem and the head injury had been what done her in? She gets hit on the head with something, fights back against her attacker, presses her hand onto the wound on her head as she stumbles away, gets the blood on her hand, climbs up the ladder, and then collapses in front of Kay, and then is later stabbed using the candelabra to cover up the crime. Which would make the blood on the elevator right here, where she had initially hit her head when she'd been like shoved, or like her killer had intentionally slammed her head on that part of the elevator to attempt to kill her. I'm just gonna press everything, I think. This feels like a heavy testimony. I wanna dissect. 3 wounds. That can't have been pleasant. Yes. Which is why we must see that the perpetrator of the cruel act pays for their sins. Don't listen to her, Kay. She's just trying to scare you. If we could please continue on, Judge Cap. Very well. As I was saying, there were 3 wounds. Do we? Do we know for sure? I do, but perhaps we should ask Mr. DeBest. He does, I'm sure. Don't you, Sebastian? Who? Me? Oh, you bet I do. I know this case inside out. Who does he think he's fooling? Sebastian, my boy. Make an old man happy and at least glance at the coroner's report, would you? Sure. I love Sebastian, my sweet baby. Sure. Let's see. Yada 3 puncture wounds, blah blah, candle holder. No way. That's what they used? Crazy. I love Sebastian. Precisely. The wounds were inflicted just as Sebastian says.
Hold it!
And you're sure that the stabs to the chest were the cause of death? There's no doubt about that? None. One of the 3 spikes of the candelabra even pierced the victim's heart. Where did the other 3 go? I mean the other 2, sorry. Where did the other 2 spikes go? Can we prove that all 3 were made at the same time? I would love to call Dr. Hurt's professional opinion into question. I would love to call Dr. Hurt's professional opinion into question. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hurt's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact. The coroner's opinion backing up my own winning ones. Now that's what I'd call a flawless victory. Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. Hey, what about my findings? You can't just ignore them. But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest from a candelabra, that would seem to contradict one piece of evidence we've gathered. He's not just ignoring my findings, he's ignoring me! Do something, Gavel! As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he cannot ignore my own conclusions. Okay, what piece of evidence does the candle contradict with? Oh, the victim's letter.
Objection!
Fuck! Fuck. Okay. What else is there? is it the fact that there's no stab wounds on the raincoat? Would you mind taking a look at this, Judge Gav? Am I expected to accept this as evidence? It appears to have no connection to my testimony. Judge Gravel is a tougher nut to crack than most of the best. But that doesn't mean I should give up. Okay. I'm gonna press the last two statements and then make more, present more stuff. But the victim may not necessarily have died instantly. I think we can say that much at least. Perhaps, but she would surely not have lived for longer than a few moments either. So, there are people who could survive even if you stab them in the chest? Sure, there might be. And there might not be too. So which is it? Trust me, there are not. And in case you're still tempted to believe there might be. No, there are people who survive being stabbed in the chest, at least for a short while. That's the thing that has happened.
Hold it!
The cause of death. Cause of death is the set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Well done for reading, Mr. Edgeworth. That report forms the basis of my own conclusions. Yeah. No, I think there's even been people who have been stabbed in the heart and have been able to stumble at least a little bit before they die. Like, our bodies are, like, incredible and have a lot of, like, especially with adrenaline involved, we can do a lot of insane stuff. In other words, if I disprove what it says, I disprove your conclusions too. You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you to read the report very carefully. After all, I'm not interested in your opinions, only in solidly grounding deductions. Very well. Then you shall have my deductions. Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be alright. I need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. If I can't, Kay's fate will be sealed. Okay. Okay. So we need to be able to prove that she was still breathing directly after being stabbed. Okay. Victim's body discovered in committee chamber. Preliminary findings place the time of death at sometime late last night. Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Victim also suffered a head injury post-mortem. Other remarks, prominent burn marks on the back of victim's right hand. Okay, what is all the evidence we have? The Yatagarasu pin. Nothing with this right now. Mask molded on the Gemma Ninja's face, made of cheap plastic. There's something with that mask, I'm not sure yet. Letter K was carrying. K's ticket stub. A magenta flower made of fabric that's usually more, what side is the flower on? Okay, it's not on the side of the stabbing. The evidence, the pamphlet for the building. You can usually tell to an extent, when certain injuries were based off of how blood clots. I'm not 100% certain on how they do it for head injuries, but I know that, like cuts and bruises, if they happen, post-mortem, they won't be red, because there's no longer blood flowing to that part of the body. Like, there's no longer blood flowing around to make it that color. So you can, to an extent, tell when certain injuries took place. I'm not 100% sure how they do it for a head injury, though, but I'm sure it's possible. Key card found in the victim's hand. Wait. She's not holding the key card here. Or that could be nothing. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not sure what's nothing and what's me thinking about things. It may have been the prongs of each arm are covered in blood. The spacing matches that of the wounds in the victim's chest. But is this really the murder weapon? Written. Stuffed animal. Selection of various masks was kept on a rack. Each participant in the auction wore one. A photograph of the mysterious figure in the red raincoat. Blood was detected on the secret elevator. Box in which the killer hid the body. I really don't know what to do here. I'm really not sure. Alright. How do we feel about taking a peek at a walkthrough? Because I really have zero clue what to do here. I don't know if I'm missing something obvious or if what, but I really can't figure out what it is. What proves that she was still breathing directly after being stabbed? Alright. I'm gonna take a peek at a walkthrough real quick. Chief attorney. Attorney. Walkthrough. At least the music is a jam. Okay, turnabout Forsaken? What part are we on? Yeah, wait, Ladder, what you're forgetting. Okay. I just wanted to check what part of the game we're on. We're on Hi kitty, what you doing? This website really does not want to load today. Okay, no, I'm a little... Okay. What you're forgetting. Okay. Red raincoat on the third statement. I did suggest this. I did suggest if it was a raincoat not having staff.
Objection!
I feel like part of me thinks I presented that, but I'm not sure if I did. And I mean, I guess I didn't, but... Chairman the best. You know what this is, of course. The red raincoat. That's right, isn't it, Verity? No, I'm almost out of tea. Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I've warned you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for retreading old grounds here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Gabble. You told us that the victim's blood stains were found on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course, they were found found on the hood and... No. What's the matter, Verity? The hood and... Was the blood found anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of a stab wound to the chest. Wouldn't that lead one to expect to find blood stains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. And that's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood on the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Rainier cannot have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we concede this point, that the head injury came before the chest wound, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? I'd say it changes things a great deal. In fact, it raises even more fundamental contradictions. That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. Which piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction the order of the injuries revealed? Which piece of evidence best... It's the autopsy report, no? Why would Miss Hertz say that?
Take that!
This is Dr. Hertz's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. But the order suggests the blood stain on the raincoat is... Exactly, the opposite, yes. Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz to the community chamber with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close. Oh, I'm sure that pisses off Blaze a good bit. Hey, at what point did Verity stand up, I'm wondering? When did she stand up? Because I'd been thinking she'd been sitting down this entire time. But did she stand up right at the beginning, or did she just stand up? Yes, Your Honor. I'll go fetch her at once. Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she'll be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there is another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they? You know, not to point fingers here, but the ringleader could have potentially been the one sitting in the golden throne. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Good point. We never looked into that, huh? Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't even know the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved with the case that I can name. I suspect that at the very least they might be able to point us in the right direction. And that's... Oh, we're gonna drag Blaze through the mud. Chairman the Best, I demand that you testify as to what you know. Because Blaze sucks. Because he sucks the most, because he's trying to sweep cases that he doesn't want solved under the rug. There's a number of reasons Blaze might sell evidence. Oh, what? Are you crazy? Why would you accuse my dad? You would cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? Do you understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. And about a man who seems on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, the corsage, ticket stubs, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow. By Chairman the Best himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask, why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion on Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman the Best, your rebuttal, please. What you gonna say, Blaze? What you gonna say? Fuck! Fuck! At some point we gave Blaze fan translation privileges. It's because his official translation name, Exclusive, is so weird. Like, so weird. That I just can't. I think the good chairman might be in shock. So what if I did? Okay, he just admitted it. Did you hear me, dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me to admit as much, but where's your proof, With no witnesses to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. Or do you mean to tell us that you have something more to base your outburst on? He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Alright. His name is Hank now. I'm down for that. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm going to have to ask you to explain yourself. If that's alright, Mr. Chairman. Not at all. Be very interested in hearing this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself. Considering the fact that you verbally abuse your son, I'm gonna go ahead and say I can literally find one by grabbing someone off the street. He has a lot of nerve acting all innocent like that. Very well. Let's start at the beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this hollow trial chamber is a point of suspicion. A location that should be by rights, only accessible to members of the committee. Yeah, they all have keycards to this room after all. Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible, there can only be one winning explanation. I love this conversation. I love Edgeworth talking through it with Sebastian and letting Sebastian also come to the same conclusion. That is incredible. That's right, Mr. DeBest. That the auctioneer is a member of the committee. What? No! What on earth is wrong now? What do I do? Dad, I played right into his hands. Oh, you did indeed, you utter nitwit. But Miles, my boy, you do realize that you've cast quite the wide net with your explanation. Listen, I'm sure we can get alibis for everybody here. I'm sure we can go down the line one by one and figure out alibis. Blaze, what's your, sorry, not Blaze, Hank. Hank, what's your alibi? What's your alibi, Hank? That's true. There were 11 members of the committee altogether. 10 giving Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total. Well, it certainly isn't me. And it can't be the chairman, can't it? Whoever it is, speak up right now. Calm down. All of you, please. Well, Miles, is that all the proof you've got against me? You're very quiet all of a sudden. But it's too late to back out now. You accuse a former chief prosecutor and a current committee chairman of a crime! Ugh. I would tell you to prepare for the worst. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face. Oh, Hank is by far the best name change we've done in any of these streams. It's up there with Kevin. All right, let's kick Hank's ass. Yeah, that's how you do court. Welcome to court. I'm gonna throw him out one of these stained glass windows. You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. While the murder happened, the order of the victim's injury, where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. God, you are the worst! But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said she did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it. So rejoice. Did she confess under duress? Under duress! Miles drag his ass. And there you have it. Feel free to pick holes at it as you see fit. How can I? That was barely a testimony to begin with. That man, he's a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please just let it go. I didn't. I'm a murderer. I even remember doing it. You saw a flash of something half-remembered, Kay. Nothing more. If you must believe in something, believe in me when I say you should believe in your own innocence instead. But I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Or perhaps I can use that against him. Alright. Know your place. Okay. You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Because that's how you do court. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. Fuck you. Do your job, brother. I think I could take Hank in a fight. I could at least do some damage. Here's the one situation where having a face cam would be nice. I'm holding my cane right now. I'm gonna hit Hank with my cane. I'm gonna smack him with my cane. That's what he deserves. But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end. It's not. Think about it. The suspect herself already said it, that she did it under duress. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Her sentence will be lighter for it, so rejoice. Okay.
Hold it!
There's no way any of what we've discussed today is irrelevant. Not unless you intend to bury the truth. But none of it is relevant, dear boy. The only reason you keep trying to make things relevant is because otherwise, you're up a creek without a paddle. Fuck you!
Hold it!
Just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with at least a grain of salt.
Objection!
Ooh. Wait, is that the first time we've heard Hank's objection line? I'm glad I kind of accidentally picked a very similar voice to it. Even so, it doesn't exactly solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? It would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I'll tell you what. Why don't we ask her one last time? Though I'm sure she'll just say she did it again. Fine. Let's do it. Let's ask her again. We'll see if she really believes herself to be the culprit. Kay. You know what to do here. Just say you didn't do it. Invoke the fifth.
Uh-huh. You mean me?
Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it can significantly weaken your position. I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her. You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know? But fine, ask away on one condition. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. What are you burning? Stop burning important documents! Call the proceedings to an end, and then and there, agreed? Call the proceedings to an end. You mean the hearing? Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't a complete muddlehead after all. Oh yeah, no. Phoenix and Miles made sure that Kay and Trucy knew the law inside and out. Instantly. Those girls can argue their way out of any situation that they're put in. Sebastian is getting there. Poor boy just needs a little help. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again, and all that happens if the girl confirms her guilt, she is officially declared guilty on the spot. Yes, that sounds like a great plan, if I do say so myself. That's it. You just declare her guilty, just like that. That's the gist of it. It's a big risk, but he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if you don't do something. Okay. Yes? I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help us prove your innocence? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to try and remember anymore. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did, I'd just be making more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The Kay that you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. A criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust. Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. And right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. Whoa, Jesus fucking Christ, that's a lot of HP. Okay. I can't save. Fuck. You would never commit a murder. You would never commit a murder. You could never. Because this is who you really are. Just want to confirm what Edgeworth says when he sees this pin. This is a pin Kay always wears. It's shaped like the mark of the Yatagarasu and is very eye-catching indeed. I can't imagine any thief other than Kay would want to wear it. If there's no blood on it, right? That would be crazy if I missed the blood this whole time. Okay, I think it's the Yatagarasu pin. Pin. Yeah, because none of this other stuff really makes sense.
Take that!
You're the great thief Yatagarasu. A noble outlaw who would never stoop... Jesus Christ, I can't talk. A noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Because all I can see is the one memory that returned. I have to face it.
Hold it!
Kay, do not say those words. No, the only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you? No, it's not that. You're trying so hard to help me. And You're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop. I'm begging you. So that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the K I know would have done. You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Jesus Christ, Edgeworth. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Now, let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. That memory of you committing the murder, you need to question it with all you have. That is all I ask. So please, do it for me. Kay. What's wrong? Did you remember something? It'd be like some cliche movie plot if she did. Hank? Oh, I love you, Kay. Hank, I'm gonna throw you out a window. Yeah, no, all those lines from Edgeworth were such good writing. Him deciding that if letting Kay, like, I can't put my thoughts to words, but it is so good. Edgeworth is one of the most compelling characters in Ace Attorney. A cow. A cow? Oh! Kay, would you mean a bull? Kay, would you happen to mean a bull? Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details? Well, Kay, what can you tell us about this cow? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat. She had it in her hand. A stuffed cow. I can see it so clearly now. Are you absolutely sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I'm sure. Then this court acknowledges the defendant's latest statement as the new testimony.
Objection.
Have you lost your mind, Verity? We can't accept testimony like this. Hank, go jump out a window. If you can accept Kay's testimony of doing it under duress, then you accept that she saw a bull stuffy. Scoot, how about you go fuck yourself? Also, I love Verity here. It really does seem to point to her not really believing that Kay did it, and is more so just saying it because of Hank. Well, with all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possession is a new and highly relevant evidence.
Objection.
Need I remind you of the adult state of her memory? No, this simply won't do. Adult? Kick his ass, Verity! Kick his ass! Adult? But if we claim her memory is unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. You said it yourself only a few minutes ago. That thanks to the suspect's confession, we need not worry ourselves over the final details. Did you not? Were we to call the validity of her memories into question? love Verity. Oh, I love her so much.
Then we must also call into question the confession of which our entire argument is based. Is that really the most advisable course of action?
Yes, you're right. Proceed as you see fit, then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. And only thanks to Judge Gavel's intervention. It's almost as if she was on our side for a second.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal?
Sorry, I was taking a drink of water.
I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. We found it in the storeroom and believe it's yet another auction lot. Oh, wait. That's... Hmm? Do you know something, Gavel?
Yeah, no, Verity definitely knows more about this situation than she's letting on, and wants to find the correct, like, the truth, but she can't due to the position she is under Hank and whatever manipulation he's been doing to her for the past however many years.
No, it's just not what I imagined.
I suppose it's a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it over carefully. There's a cherry blossom on it.
There's a cherry blossom petal caught in the fur here.
There were petals on the raincoat, too.
And a cherry tree in bloom up on the viewing platform.
It would definitely appear that this was taken outside at some point. But what did the victim want with this thing? So the horns are unscrewable.
The left horn is missing.
This hole. It looks like that's where the horn would have gone.
But that doesn't look like stuffing in there. So what is it?
Let's take a look at the rest of this toy and see what else we can find. The right horn seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of this toy.
Look here, Mr. Edgeworth. It moves.
It does?
It sounds like sand being crushed?
It would seem there's a recording device hidden inside. And I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and now I finally have my revenge.
Ah!
Could this be the moment of the murder?
And someone made a recording of it.
Wow. So, whose voice was that, I wonder?
Oh, wait, that's them right there. Them's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs.
Overruled.
Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible that they have nothing to do with the murder. If only there was some accompanying video footage.
Girl! Girl! Nothing to say for yourself. I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge. And then a scream. If that doesn't say murder, Then I don't know what. You got bugs in your ass or something, lady? I done told you, them the voices I heard. And we already know the victim was holding that thing, right? So that's gotta be from when she got.
Yes, it's a possibility, but a weak one without more than your word to back it up. Oh, we need something more, something credible. We need. Yet again, she seems to be stepping in help. Judge Gavel, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment the words we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what these words are referring to and how it's all related. Which piece of evidence proves that the voices are from when the murder occurred? Fuck, what do we have? Is it... I want to say it's the mask, because, Rosie would have been wearing the Jammin' Ninja mask, presumably. So then the speaker could only recognize her from her voice and the fact from the burn on her hand. But is it the mask?
Take that!
Well, Your Honor, what do you make of this? What can I say except it's not related to the voices?
Yeah, okay.
I was sure that was it, though. Mr. Edgeworth, you do have a piece of evidence that proves the voices are from the moment of the murder, correct? Consider for a moment the words we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what these words are referring to and how it's all related. I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me.
Take that!
Fuck, okay. I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. It has to be something involving her hiding her identity or the burn.
Take that!
You know what? I should have guessed that it would be the findings, considering that's what actively mentions the burn in her hand, but whatever.
The coroner's preliminary findings. How do they prove anything?
Indeed, what on this page shows that the voices must be from the time of the murder.
Take that!
Think again on the words we have heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand.
I wonder if our local pyromaniac here might have something to do with the burn on Rosie's hand. I wonder.
And? What of it? According to case testimony, the victim was carrying the stuffed cow toy. And a burn mark, an identifying mark, unique to the victim, was mentioned on the recording it captured.
It's just a coincidence. Stuff like that happens all the time. Right?
Overruled.
I'm not sure that it does, especially not in this case. The court accepts that the recording may have been from the time of the murder. In which case, one of those two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the content of the device, it seems likely that it's the one we hear the most.
Alright, we won't lump Hank in with other pyromaniacs.
But that still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity, or even if they're male or female. Due to the voice changes, correct, unfortunately, but unavoidable. One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Ringer and her killer.
Just like I done told ya. Just like I done told you. Just like I done told you they was.
We can say something else. We can say something else now, too. Then let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Do as you wish.
According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, 2 people came up to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems that this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterwards, and the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. What else does this latest revelation tell us?
The ringleader was the killer.
Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim. Hey, Gavel?
Also note that Rosie's suit is a men's suit. That was pointed out. The buttons are on the side the buttons for men's suits are. And also you can just see how it sits on her, that it isn't her size. So it's likely that she was wearing a different outfit when she was at the auction, but then the ringleader swapped their outfits so that they would think Rosie was the ringleader.
Not right now, Sebastian. There's a good boy.
And if they weren't the victim, then they could only have been the killer.
A compelling argument, but hardly conclusive.
I'm fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. Hey, Blaze. I kind of want you to try on Rosie's suit. You know, just out of curiosity, I'm wondering how you look in white. You know, I'm looking into that. I'm seeing how everybody here looks in white. I just want to know. You know, just curious. Why don't you try on the suit? Try on the suit, Hank. Tell me if it fits or not.
There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest that the ringleader was the killer. Then please, hurry up and show us.
What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader having been the killer? The candelabra?
Take that!
The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the Goddess of Justice statue. It was due to that blood that we originally thought the murder happened in this chamber. But it was simply a ruse designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have had no reason to cover up that blood, which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you would like to name?
The auction is always held in the committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know that the murderous ringleader has some connection to the committee. Hey, who's the head of the committee? Also, who just recently moved the building of the committee? Presumably that would be the head of the committee. Hey, Blaze, what were you doing last night? Blaze, what were you up to last night?
Yes. And you suspect me, correct? As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be any surprise.
Right.
Objection.
You're a fine prosecutor. That much I'll give you. But as I think I may have mentioned already, you're hopelessly naive. got nothing, dear boy, have you? No evidence whatsoever. Unless you've got something to share after all. Ugh. But do I have any evidence to show that Chairman Beth is the murderer? Ooh. Uh... Uh... Do I have evidence? I don't think we have any evidence. Hold on. I'm gonna check the walkthrough for this just to make sure, because... Oh. Okay, yeah, we don't have anything. I just wanted to, like, triple check that I wasn't forgetting something. It was Chairman DeBest himself who brought up the fact I suspect him. And he seemed confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows. He knows I have nothing. Oh, Miles, my boy. Time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that. Verity, he's all yours. Wait! Dang it! I just remembered something! Uh-huh? Did you have amnesia too? Nah, it just came to me. Flash of inspiration, you know how it is. Very well. Say your piece.
Objection.
What are you doing, Verity? Mr. Edgeworth has made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguishing we must. Lest he try to drag us through this excruciating process again in the future. Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Gavel bring this to a winning finish, and we'll show them how wrong they are. Fine. Let's hear what the witness has to say. All right, Lana, what you got? You heard the chairman, Miss Hart. If you would be so kind. Well, all right then. Here goes nothing. The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please. Don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Trick's my middle name. I love that twist. Color me officially worried. Hey, Lotta. Lotta, how many times did you lie on the stand? Lotta, didn't you lie on the stand 3 different times? Lotta, didn't you go up on the stand and tell lies in 3 different cases? So, the ringleader's the killer, right? Which makes the victim one of them auction goers. The thing is, that don't add up. I counted 11 people coming down that hatch, see? And then the murder happened, and the auction started back up again. And now, I had me a look back downstairs right after that. No. And what do you know? There were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again. How? And you're sure of this, Miss Hart? Sure as sure can be, you gavel snap. So I'm with my own 2 peepers. So, 11 before the murder, and 11 again, right after, means... Wait, that's a thingy. A contradiction, Sebastian. Do try to keep up. Miss Hart, did nothing really change at all? Done told you already, they carried right on again like nothing ever happened. Oh, crapful. It was nothing much, but... What is it? That little mallet doodad. You can't have yourself an auction without one. Kinda like the one Missy over there got, but different. The auctioneer had a hammer. That's the bunny. Oh my god! Oh no, guys! It was the judge! It was then heard that thing banging and clanging right the way through. And then nothing, just like that. So the noise of the hammer stopped midway through? Could it have something to do with the murder?
Huh. It almost sounds as if somebody used their mallet to bash Rosie on the head.
If what Miss Hart is telling us is true, we have something of a problem. Namely, that if the victim is neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth.
Chuck one up for justice. Eat that, Edgeworth.
See, Mr. Edgeworth, there really was nothing we could do. No, there must be something. We're overlooking something we still don't have an explanation for. I just need to think. If I can't cave. Alright, kids. We finally have all our answers now. So then I expect to make good on it. One moment, sir.
Oh. I love that they had her do her objection, but it didn't have... Because she has an objection voice line. I like that they didn't include that to give that moment of suspense.
One moment, sir. I worry that it might still be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your voice by now. Aloud, hold it, perhaps.
Oh, yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat.
Very well, let's get this over with, shall we? What is this one matter that still remains? Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir. That's...
I find it so interesting that Blaze hasn't stood up. Not from the perspective of, like, it shows how much he thinks he's in control here. That he feels confident enough to remain seated. I'm back with the witness, Your Honor. What's this all about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I'll have a compress ready in 2 shakes of ouch!
This never be good. Did someone else drop dead? Well, they might soon wish they had. Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you, this won't take long. Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will ya? Of course. We summoned you here to confirm something. What is Judge Gavel up to? Dr. Hertz, this court asks you to provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy? Grandma doesn't make mistakes, ever! That's strange. Huh? What do you mean? In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. And so I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings? That's awful! How can you even say that? What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that? To help the true culprit, of course. As if I know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort. Then that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report?
Oh! I like the idea of a 12th person being brought in after the murder. That's interesting.
Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter. It's not like you to be coy, I must say. Oh, why does she keep taking charge and helping me? I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get.
If everything was recorded accurately, and then handed off to Mr. Best according to protocol, then that report shouldn't contain any mistakes. Wait. For the record, I didn't do anything to the report. I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story. Why do we even need to? This is pointless! I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much. We have patients waiting back at the hospital! But ouch! I really don't have the time for this! Yeah, no, it is, I believe it was stated in, like, the first part of this stream, of, like, what we covered in the first part of the stream, that Hertz is, like, a trusted coroner for the committee, that they do trust her. So it is possible that Hank might have trusted her enough to make her complicit in his murder. Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is. Grandma, she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer. And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy the last time we saw you. Yeah, if your hospital is relying on 2 people being there, I think you should probably just close the hospital. Oh, we'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. Alright. The so-called mistake in the report. No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report, not never! I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as ouch! And what the heck do you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file, huh? Don't make a lick of sense. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here. See, it's just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctored her findings. And you swear by the Holy Goddess that this testimony is true? Of course! Grandma never told a lie in her...
Objection!
Your opinions are not necessary, Miss Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you. Not necessary? That's not fair! I'm the only ally poor Grandma has. Hey, Hank was just defending her pretty strongly, so... Go ahead and chat ejection left and right, but you've best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. Though we're more than prepared. Ready to expose the truth behind the error in that report. Alright. No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. Not never. Shut up. I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as ouch. And what the heck? And what the heck you'd think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file? Don't make a lick of sense. That's all she has to say. Okay, well, I want to start with this one. You may not have stood to gain anything from it, but what about your granddaughter? Me? I didn't stand to gain anything either. Never mind her. What's your little friend over there, She stand to gain something for sure. Look at you trying to accuse my sweet innocent Florence of wrongdoing. Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'd wish you'd tell that to Chairman the Best. Anyhow, nobody doctored that report, you hear? Nobody!
Hold it!
The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury. And yet, there's not a single drop of her blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Yeah, no, I'm so curious on who all does Hank have in his pocket? Who, like, I'm curious about the current chief prosecutor, because we know sometime between the end of this game and the beginning of Dual Destinies, at the latest, if not, though presumably at least by the beginning of Apollo Justice, Edgeworth becomes the chief prosecutor. Is that because the current chief retired just cause he, like, was old or whatever, or is it he was in him and Hank were, like, he was also working, like, with Hank, like, on Hank's payroll, like how deep does this corruption go? Presumably Hank's covered for Von Karma in the past. And then, yeah, no, it's like, who is all working with Hank here? Could we... I mean, David Gant was pretty corrupt. Could Gant also have been a part of, like, working dirty with Blaze? Hank, sorry. How dare I use his fan translation name? He doesn't deserve that. And yet, there was not a single drop of blood in the chest area of her raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem. Oh, that's ouch! No need to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My ding report already says what you just said, don't it?
Objection!
Your report states that the head injury appeared to have been sustained post-mortem, which is the exact opposite of what I just said. Oh, sure. I'm diligently dedicated to the I diligently dedicate that report to Florence here. Oh, sorry. I diligently dedicate... God, I'm... The chief prosecutor is presumably in charge of, like, the rest of the prosecutors and being like, okay, Clavier Gavin is gonna handle this case. Payne is gonna handle this case, etc., etc., etc. But also probably handles the most high-profile cases. Stuff like that. Also, doing the grandma's voice is so hard because I'm trying to do an impression of Florence doing an impression of her grandmother, and it's really difficult. I diligently wrote down that report to Florence here, and she wrote it all down. Just like I said it. Something happened to it after. That weren't nothing to do with me. You detated it. If you could please tell me more.
Hold it!
Just so we're on the same page. What were your conclusions regarding the body? Well, like I said... Oh. Sorry, it was, Death from a good hard knock on the noggin. And can you say for certain when that knock happened, Dr. Herb? Pre-mortem, of course. Just what happened after the poor girl died. I told Florence that and she wrote it down. So that's what it say in my dang report. That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting the truth. Yeah,
Objection!
So... Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself. Oh, I'll read it to you! Uh-oh. Granny's sweating. Hey, Granny, did something happen? This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all. What? What do you mean exactly? Oh. I don't know. But I can't say that. Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth. I will gladly hear her confession for myself on behalf of the goddess of justice. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Gavel something in private. What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you have told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something.
Oh, shit. Okay, fuck. I have to do it now in an old lady voice. Okay, fuck you, game. Calling me out for trying to take it easy.
Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Wow. That was a great impression. Yes, but was it really necessary? So in summary, there is an error in the report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler. The true facts have now been shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error?
Yeah, no, I like that everyone is fully taking it seriously that this old lady cannot talk louder than a whisper and is firmly dedicated to doing impressions of how she speaks.
Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem. They're practically the same word, don't you think?
No, those are two very different words.
Except they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it. But why would she want to change it?
Exactly. Thanks, cat. Ouch!
You won't get away that easy.
Explain yourself, young lady. But Grandma, I.
You submitted a falsified report. An act that led Kay to being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation.
I can't tell you.
Don't want to, but can't?
So, okay, here's the question. Who's in Hank's pocket here? Is it Grandma or Florence? Is Hertz in his pocket or is Florence in his pocket? Who? Huh.
This is really rather unpleasant, don't you think? Ganging up on this poor, considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother.
Because he's really laying it on thick on, oh, she's so sweet and innocent. Couldn't possibly have done it on purpose, whereas he, literally calls his son an idiot.
She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake. So why not leave it there?
Objection!
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Because the only person in her testimony would hurt is you. What on earth do you mean, my boy?
Yeah, no, Hank is really intent on defending Florence. Which is weird, because he's so ready to throw everyone else under the bus. The only people he's nice to in this way have been Florence and Verity, who we know he's been manipulating Verity. Which then points to the fact that he's probably got some sort of dirt on Florence.
Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're gonna need to explain yourself better than that.
I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because she's the real victim. No. She's the real murderer. She's a co-conspirator. She's a co-conspirator. Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice. Ouch!
So she's a co-conspirator.
This innocent young thing. I hate you. I hate you so much. How? I'm gonna throw you out a window. You share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy. The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, it wouldn't have been possible to maintain the attendee numbers. Because, like, doctoring the report isn't necessary for this crime. I don't think too much changes between the order of which she died. It's more so that they used the stabbing to frame Kay. Which seems to have come about as an after-the-fact type thing. But... And I feel like Hank could have probably moved the body on his own, or, like... I don't think moving the body would have been all that hard. But maintain the attendee numbers. If the auctioneer was the murderer, and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees even after the murder doesn't make sense. Hey, watch it! You're gonna call my good word into question now, too! That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator. I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept you were wrong.
Objection!
I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start falling into place. I'm curious, is this the first time a killer has had, like, a willing accomplice? Like, an actual accomplice? 'Cause, like, in the first game, you could point to the Von Karma being involved, like, Von Karma, Yanni Yogi working together. But, like, Von Karma didn't actually carry out the murder. The most he did was suggest the murder to Yanni Yogi. The second game, Adrian Andrews tampered with the crime scene, but she didn't do that to help Madangard or Shelley the Killer. And then the third game, I don't think there was any cases in the third game where, like, it could have been viewed as there being an accomplice. Is this the first time we've had an accomplice in an Ace Attorney case? But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder. Well. So that's your thinking, is it? Certainly an intriguing theory. But surely the imposter would have been spotted right away. They were wearing masks! You dumbass! I don't imagine that just neither looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna take a drink of water. I ran out of tea and now my throat's starting to hurt. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, there's neither. Is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction? I wouldn't do something like... I wouldn't... Wait, God. I wouldn't do something like that. Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they? I can't tell you. I just can't. It hurt Grandma too. Oh! But Grandma! Don't you worry about me. I can take it. You just tell me everything, child. But Grandma! Holy shit! I love that breakdown sprite. That's incredible. So I was right. She was an accomplice. Miss Needler.
Why?
It also makes sense because Florence is the one who gave us the stuff Kay had on her. It would be so easy for her to falsify that. Oh my god. Oh, this is incredible.
Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself? Yes. Huh? Oh, thank you, Grandma. But I'm all right now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer. So, you admit that you were working with the ringleader? Yeah. I was helping them.
Yeah, no, she cracked instantly. Hank should have chosen a better accomplice.
I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was gonna attack them. The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim. They seemed pretty sure it was gonna happen that night, so they made a counter plan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there.
She was in the chest. Now hold on right there, Missy. You didn't see nothing, and my eyes don't lie. You'd have been there from before the auction. I would have bumped right into ya. Was there the whole way through. You weren't there for a bit of it.
But I'm not lying. Oh, that's easy for you to say. You were lying about altering the report only a few minutes ago. I think we were all aware of the numbers of potential hiding places in that storeroom. Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say our friend, the nurse, was hiding, Nurse Needler hid here while she was waiting in the storeroom.
Take that!
She hid inside this clothes box. Oh, did she? Oh, she did she?
Uh-huh. Well, it was there the whole time. Even before I nosed on in. But like I done told y'all. It had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere.
I imagine that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived. That's right. We didn't want anybody to open it, or it would have really blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. And then they wrapped up the whole box in chains. Think they took the elevator downstairs not too long after.
Wow, that would be terrifying to be locked in that box, just waiting. Ooh.
It was just before the auction was due to start.
Okay, Lotta's behind the statue. Needler's in the clothes box.
So as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom. Yeah, I think so. The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That's when the incident occurred.
I wonder if what Rosie bought wasn't the raincoat, but was the bull stuffy. Which is why she had it in her hand and she could start the recording. And then she merely grabbed the raincoat as she left to hide the bump on her head, hide the blood on her head.
And Miss Hart overheard the victim and her culprit exchanging words around them.
You betcha! I was behind that statue there, shaking like a dang leaf the whole time.
In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine that the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler had emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box.
Oh, wait, if Rosie did die during this, then who did Kay see? Oh, unless Rosie didn't actually die and she was just playing dead. Okay, never mind. I got it.
After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role was now to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two of them then returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler? Yes. In fact, that's exactly what happened! Hold up. Hold up, so you just walked right back on in and nobody noticed? That's two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not one of them are the folks down there at the auction caught and on? Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Needler entered because she had stolen the victim's clothes. As we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules require attendees to wear masks at all times. If Nurse Needler was there wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser. No, and they weren't. I borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and ouch! Unless the poor child in her smalls? Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her. Ah, that makes sense. So, that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus the auction was able to carry on as before. I guess that's the part where I caught the red raincoat on film. Guess the part where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after. Yeah, must be. Then that all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs through the gap in the elevator. Spied on me 11 happy little auction goers. Then back I snuck to my little hidey hole. Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that. That is, not exactly. What is it? Did something happen? So, maybe I ought to haven't mentioned this before, but I fell asleep for a few weeks after that. Lana, you were scared for your life 5 seconds ago, and then you passed out, girl. Fuck off. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say. Oh, what happened? Oh, nothing much. Just kind of silly, really, but, there was a sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know. Alright, maybe more than a little bit, but I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess I got my heart shut, and and my head fainted. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. So that would be when Kay fell down the hatch. By the time I came to, it was the next dang day. And there y'all were, clanking down that ladder. I see. So you were startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious. I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that. Not per se, but, well, after the auction was over, all the masks were back on the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up and filed out one by one like they was supposed to. Nurse Needler, once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing? I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids, just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes box as I'd been instructed. Had a dead body inside after all. Imagine if someone else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then. So you had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime? No, not until we came back up so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead. Okay. Yes, she must have fallen from on the roof and been knocked unconscious. Guess the victim must have left the hatch wide open, huh? That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. Yeah, I suppose. I can't believe something like that knocked me out for so long, though. So, in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Nurse Needler, if you would continue. Sure. So I found Kay. Next I found Miss Ringer. And I put them both in the clothes box. We couldn't risk any of the auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real hubbubaloo. Was that your idea? Or the ringleader's? Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done. I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case. And lastly, the ringleader and I put her in an auctioneer's outfit. We prepared. Of course. Which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer. All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything. And that was that.
Yeah, no, Kay just chilled in a box with a dead body for a while. Kay has gone through a lot from this quest. I will not be shocked if she develops claustrophobia after this.
Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry. It's all I know. Except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so ouch!
I love Grandma. I love Grandma Hurst. She's awesome.
You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you?
That's where you draw the line? So taking her clothes was okay.
Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kind of panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy one. They were both stashed in the clothes box.
2 wigs. But why?
Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she would have changed up her style. Anyways, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on the day.
Leaving a wavy wig in the box. Huh. And that's everything you know? There's nothing else you're forgetting?
No. Huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything.
And I take it you really have no idea who the ringleader might be?
Sorry. I only know that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. They were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone.
If I can't get something concrete on them. Well, Miles, are we about done? Okay, but like we've proved Kay didn't do it, so... You've proven the nurse was part of the murder plot, but sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. There's nothing to prove that Kay Faraday isn't the ringleader. I'm gonna rip my hair out of my head. It objectively proves that there were 5 people in that storeroom. Kay, Lana, Miss Ringer, Florence, and the ringleader. You! And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake. Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Franny! Franny's like, I figured my shit out. I'm ready to kick ass. I had a dream. drink. I'm ready to go. Francisca had a drink. She's ready to go. Okay. I'm gonna be right back. We are gonna keep going because I'm still feeling good. I do just have to go use the bathroom a lot. Real quick, not a lot. I mean, yeah, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's let Francisca kick everybody's ass. Yeah, Francisca had a glass. She's ready to go now. Francisca, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't go getting the wrong ideas, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information. Detective Gumshoes did that? Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of the... Oh, Francisca! Little late for that. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of the injuries she suffered, and not the second. Now, someone say something. Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we've already proved that ourselves. You what? Yes, just a few minutes ago. So why did you say so sooner? Francisca had one too many drinks. You didn't exactly give us a chance. And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too. No, not yet. No, good. Listen up, then. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. And the wound to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem. A circular surface? Like a hammer?
Objection.
Like a mallet? Shut up! Shut up, Hank! And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board. Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection.
That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're overstepping the bounds of... Dude, shut the fuck up! She's with Interpol. Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction. And this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me to not pursue leads pertaining to the relevant parties. Especially the victim. My, you've really become quite the force to be reckoned with, haven't you, my dear?
Then all our parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head.
Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified. Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two. But guys, I didn't turn up any other weapons during my investigation. And yet, one needs to only think about the setting and auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. An object with a circular surface used in an auction. We're obviously talking about Judge Gavel's hammer. The auctioneer's hammer, a judge's hammer. I was gonna say, nah, we're just gonna do it with the auctioneer's hammer. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? Though I'm sure there is funny dialogue for if you say Verity's hammer. An auctioneer's hammer, of course. But we never found one of those.
If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a little candid for the murder weapon. But without the evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that.
Oh, I have the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. There is a second universe out there where Miles trolls Courtney for a little bit. Oh, it's Lotta's testimony. Yeah. I completely blanked that she added that to her testimony for a second. Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Yeah, I completely forgot Lotta. Like, I remembered Lotta said that, but I completely forgot her testimony got updated. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder and was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right? Chairman the best. I like that Edgeworth has now accused Hank 3 different times. Edgeworth is waiting for one of these accusations to stick, and I'm so here for it. I'll have our people look into this right away. Oh, really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you? He seems very confident. We'll never find it.
Very well. A search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess.
Oh, thank goodness we get to breathe. Not for long though, because we're doing more. I'm feeling good. It's early in the day. I'm feeling good. We're gonna do more. I'm saving twice because I don't want to lose this. A formal accusation. This room is getting more and more packed.
Silence in the courtroom, please. Miss Von Karma, if you would be so kind as to update us on the progress of your search.
We might. I feel like we might finish this case today. It feels like we're coming to the end.
It's not good news, I'm afraid. The entire big building has been searched from top to bottom. No auctioneer's hat was found anywhere. Okay, well, the killer obviously still has it on his pocket, Blaze the Best. Or threw it out the building? Check it out the window! That's what I would do! First you clean it of blood, and then you yeet it off the top of that building! And you hope it's never found! Ugh. That is bad news indeed. Then we have no choice but to move ahead with the verdict. Such a terrible shame. But I suppose only a fool would have left the murder weapon behind. Hey, buddy, you're not allowed to use the word fool. That's Francisca's thing. You can fuck off. It's certainly not what I'd expect from a first-rate criminal mind. Stop stroking your own ego, you dumbass! No, there's just not... There's not enough to work with here. I can't carry us any further on my own. Yes, it really is a tragedy. Such is life, I suppose. I was just thinking back over the defendants I've made plea deals with over the years. People who poured their hearts out to me. Who trusted me with every detail of their crimes. And then when it came to their sentencing, I recommended life in prison every time. Holy shit! This guy's the worst! Yeah, no, Francisca is, like, about to leap over the table to strangle this dude for using the word fool. For every single one. Oh, if only you could see them. The stupid, dumbfounded looks on their faces. Yo, dude, what the fuck? The verdict will now be passed. All present will accept the goddess's word as law. There's nothing more I can do. Kay and I are both... If only we had some proof. I never imagined I would be passing judgment on you under such circumstances. The end of the road, huh? By the power vested in me. Verity, drink his ass! Drink his ass, Verity! Hank the Best, this court hereby indicts you for your crimes! What? What on earth has gotten into you, Verity? Let's go, Verity! Let's go! I submit for the court's consideration the case file of a certain incident, namely the IS-7 incident, a murder that took place 7 years ago, a murder that took place 18 years ago. Courtney truly had the redemption arc of all time. But what does that file have to do with... Wait, you mean... He would have been a prosecutor at the time, wouldn't he? Or no, he would have probably been on the committee still. But, oh, drank his ass. Courtney just renames Blaze to Hank on the spot. Your late night visit to this chamber, that was too... Precisely. I came here to retrieve these documents, though sadly it would seem that I arrived too early to catch the auction itself. When we spoke of that matter before, I implied that I had come to retrieve files pertaining to your own case. You'll have to forgive me. That was a ruse to buy myself more time. Hold on, I wanna... Oh, baby, sweetheart, Sevi, baby, you're gonna be adopted soon, don't worry.
Okay. We did create an in-universe explanation for the joke. I love that. What the heck are you doing, Gabble? You can't just accuse my dad. Without proper grounds, it's defamation! An excellent observation, Sebastian. It is. And of course I have the grounds to make such an accusation. 18 years ago, Mr. Manfred von Karma had some details about the victim's body fabricated. The details he was forced to fabricate when sculptor Arthur Frost's body went missing. My papa? Friends, fabricating information? What is the meaning of this? Inside men, the detective originally assigned to the case did in fact report that the body had gone missing. However, it seems that a certain someone wasn't very pleased with Mr. Von Karma. Courtney has regained her visitation rights. And deliberately withheld information in order to bring him down a few pegs. What? What? This individual refused to allow anyone to go against their wishes or to challenge their power. And they're known to go to extreme lengths in order to bring those who defy them to heel. 18 years ago, they were no different. In fact, they even ordered Dr. Hertz to create a fake autopsy report for the IS-7 incident. Oh. So, 18 years ago, Hank had Dr. Hertz create a fake autopsy report. He then used that information to blackmail Florence to help him murder Rosie. Oh. What? She was responsible for the fake report. Wait, you have to understand, Grandma, she's not a bad person. That's what's implied to have happened, kind of. It's because her sprite changed from being on this side of the screen to the same side Miles is on, which implies that she did move over there as she accused Hank, which is incredible. She had to do what he said. She didn't have any choice. He, the person in question, was the chief prosecutor at the time. The chief prosecutor 18 years ago. No. The man who gave Papa the first penalty of his career. Oh! Hank the best. It was you.
Objection!
What are you talking about? My dad would never do something like that.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, Sebastian, but your opinion on the matter is not needed here. Well, Chairman the Best, do you have anything to say for yourself? All that nonsense with the body. That was Manfred's doing. Such a willful boy. And the fake autopsy report. Hilda, how could you? I can't believe you naughty kids would do such dishonest things behind my back. Oh, Edgeworth is ready to drag him out! We could just ask her why she did it. Why, she is standing right over there, after all. Sebastian is right. Edgeworth would never do something like that. Hank, on the other hand. Wait, Grandma can't. She's ouch. Grandma, I'm sorry. I knew that. I knew. That's why Right, exactly. If I didn't, everybody would have found out what you did. They said he was going to charge you if you didn't help them with their plan. They said he would. That he would. I just had to do what the auctioneer said. Hey, Hank. If you've done nothing wrong, why are you so angry? So you were coerced into it, were you, Nurse Needler? And just to be clear, the auctioneer. with Chairman DeBest. I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know. The person forcing me to help them was the auctioneer. And they definitely looked to me about the same build as the chairman, but I never saw their face. Well, there must be something. Any detail, no matter how small, will do. Oh, wait. Their mask didn't cover their whole face. And the part that wasn't covered had a tattoo on it. I remember that much for sure. Ah. Hey! Hey, Hank! What's under your beard, buddy? Hey, Hank, what's under your beard? Also, I think we found out why there was why there was a wavy wig present at the scene as well. What hair type would we say Mr. Hank here seems to have? I'd say wavy. Seems like somebody's wearing a fake beard. A tattoo.
Objection.
This all sounds very dramatic, but I really don't know what you're talking about. There's no tattoo anywhere on my face. I think I'd known if there was one, wouldn't you? Which means I can't be the ringleader, no matter how much you might want me to be. I only hope you can figure out who this shameless manipulator might be.
Overruled.
Your contempt for this courtroom is an insult to the goddess. Are you sure it's not you who's feeling insulted here? I am not the only one who has been trying to bring you to justice. Miss Ringer had been trying to, too. And I refuse to let her sacrifice be in vain. Young Rosie was looking to take me down, you say? But why? I barely knew her. Set your beard on fire, dumbass! I want to see your chin! I've always had a certain magnetic charm. Well, that's a lie. Everybody, he's lying under oath! Everybody, Hank's lying under oath! But I don't remember ever catching that particular eye. You barely knew the victim? Why, I do believe that's a new statement. The goddess demands that you offer your full testimony on the record. So that's how this is going to go. You mean to hound me until I finally break? Oh, if that's the way you want to play it, fine. I'll destroy you all. Every last one of you. Yeah, no, I don't find Hank charming at all. Dude's gross. Yucky, yucky man. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to work with you on this one. I doubt we'll get another chance to put him on the stand. So let's make the most of this opportunity. Of course, Your Honor. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, Chairman DeBest, will you tell this court everything you know about Miss Ringer? His eyes are terrifying, by the way. Everything I know about Miss Ringer. Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course. But we never really had any personal interactions, at least none that I remember. I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me. So you don't need to accept your part in any of this. Of course he doesn't. He isn't guilty. How could he be? He's my dad. The best of the best. That's very kind of you, Sebastian, but you'll need more than your words if you plan to cover for me. Right. You got it. I won't let them pin this on you. I believe in you, Dad. You'll beat Edgeworth. I know you will. Yes. You really are such a sweet, simple child. He really loves his dad. Huh? But that's no excuse for him to ignore his father's crimes. Francisca, look in a mirror. No matter how much he respects him, regardless of their situation in life, all criminals will be made to atone for their sins. This won't be easy on Mr. the Best, but it has to be done. We can't let his father get away with this.
Dude. Francisca and Miles must relate to Sebastian so hard in this case. Because, like, who, if it's not a parallel exactly to Von Karma and them? Okay. Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course, but we never really had any personal interactions, at least none that I remember. I had no motive to murder the poor girl whatsoever, and I have absolutely no idea why she was after me. Okay, I'm gonna start from statement 3.
Hold it!
So, you're saying that you barely knew the victim at all? That's exactly what I'm saying, my boy, yes. Why, I never even knew that about that burn mark on her hand. You didn't. I mean, what's the point? You get to know someone, but before you know it, they're gone. It's become such a pain to remember things about others. Here one day and gone the next.
No, it's... Francisca, Edgeworth, Kay, and Sebastian are all such strong parallels for each other because their situation is so similar. They all lost or are, in Sebastian's case, currently losing their father. Von Karma and Hank are both shit parents. And, like, Von Karma and Mr. Faraday were both murdered. It's like, all of their situations are such parallels to each other that it is heartbreaking. They're such fascinating characters.
Yes, because they didn't stand up to you and you make them disappear. If you could please add your remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman DeBest.
Hold it!
You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark? You really don't let up, do you? I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has scars on their hands and who doesn't. But this wasn't just any old scar. I'd say it was pretty noticeable, in fact. Perhaps under normal circumstances, but now that I think about it, Miss Ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself. The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves. It makes sense, of course. People can be very self-conscious about such things. I can only sympathize, being something of a sensitive soul myself. I hope you're not too sensitive to be a pet. I hope you're not too sensitive to append that to your statement to your testimony.
Hold it!
So, you remember her always wearing gloves? I mean, it was something of a trademark of hers, yes. Who knew it was to hide a burn mark? I always imagined it was just a fashion statement.
Hey, dude, even if it's, like, unless it's directly, like, stated otherwise, even if they don't confirm it, I'm always gonna headcanon that the burn was caused by Hank. Yeah, I do think, I feel like we're leading up to the reveal that Hank burned her. But even if it's not, like, confirmed, unless they outwardly state the opposite, I'm always gonna headcanon that that's what happened.
Does your little friend there have something to hide under all those bandages, I wonder?
She's injured! Suck a lemon!
Who? Me? No! I don't have anything to hide! You don't? Not even the stony visage of a cold-blood murderer?
I wish I could say you haven't, but you've missed a good chunk. We're accusing, well, first and foremost, we renamed Sebastian's father to Hank because we refused to call him by his fan translation name or his actual translation name, so he's Hank now. We're accusing him of murdering Rosie. Verity's on our side now. Kay fell down a hatch. What else big events happened? Florence, the nurse, also helped in the murder. I think that's everything. Or at least the big things. If anyone here is hiding such a thing, it's you. And I'll expose your truth. And I'll expose your true face if it's the last thing I do. Oh, also Hank probably has a tattoo on his face. You never fail to entertain, my boy. Go ahead and do your worst. So, Miss Ringer always wore gloves. That reminds me of something. I should look over all the evidence again. Oh, he had gloves prepared ahead of time. Oh, but we don't know that he was the... but we didn't know that he was the, we can't prove that he was the auctioneer. Okay, I'm gonna press a few more.
Hold it!
You never had any trouble with her professionally. Oh, don't be so silly, my boy. I'm far important to these days for such trivialities. And by all accounts, her work was unimpeachable. Besides, our differences in standing would mean we hardly ever interacted. But that doesn't prove you didn't kill her, does it? Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Anything to save your little friend. It certainly seems that Miss Ringer had some personal interest in you, at least. Indeed. But I can't for the life of me imagine why. Too bad. So sad. Without a motive, you can't logic your way into pinning this on me.
Hold it!
You have no idea at all as to why she was after you. Let's see now. It's because Dad's a real catch. I suppose you could say that, yes. The admirers, they come, they go again. Sebastian, sweetheart, come over here. Don't stand next to him. You couldn't even dream of being like my dad. I don't want to be like your dad. Very true. I doubt many ordinary people could match his achievements. It's remarkable, really, to have so many people come into his life and then for so many to leave it. Yeah, Oh, it most certainly is. Hank is pushing every button he can. Wow, dude, Dude, this is like, he's all but threatening to murder Verity. I certainly wouldn't complain if you choose to leave, Verity, my dear. I think it's far more likely that you'll be the one leaving today, in handcuffs. Yes, very true. But if you think I'm finished, you will be sorely disappointed. I have to think back on what we know about the victim. If you're not sure how to approach this, take another look at the evidence. You just might find a new way to interpret old information. Are you trying to help me, Francisca? I'm trying to help Kay Faraday. I couldn't care less about you. Nice to see she really is worried for Kay. In her own Francisca sort of way. Okay. Yeah, so we need... What do we have that we can point to here? Ringleader wore white jacket, white gloves, a magenta flower, and a mask. Also had a tattoo on the part of his face the mask didn't cover. Wait, it had her fingerprints on it.
Objection!
Yeah, I was... It's because they took her gloves off, but what else could it be? Chem in the best. Please take a look at this piece of evidence. Well, you certainly seem fired up about it, my boy. I'm not entirely sure why, though. Perhaps you ought to cool your head a little and think things out before I lose my cool from wasting my time on meaningless theories. I must have made a mistake. You think you can win against the best? Think again. My dad's invincible. He's the top of the top. The best of the best of all. Yes, the cheerleading's a little cringe-inducing, though, Sebastian. Maybe you could give it a rest. He's no ordinary opponent, that's for sure. I'll need to plan my approach with the utmost care. Okay. What do we have to prove that she wasn't? That he would have known? Ugh, I don't know. I don't know what to present here. Like, my thought here is the ringleader wore gloves, the ringleader being Hank, wore gloves on purpose because he knew Rosie normally wore gloves, so it would be weird for her to not have gloves. But we can't prove that he was the ringleader yet. We haven't proved that yet. How would we feel if I looked at a walkthrough? Because I don't want to spend 1,800 hours presenting every little piece of evidence. Yeah. Alright, tutorial time. Alright. Ah, why isn't the page loading? There we go. Where am I in the case? Okay. Okay, oh! Okay. Okay. Alright. So we have to prevent the broken plushie. Because in it talks about, I could have recognized that burn anywhere or whatever. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Objection!
So, Miss Ringer always wore gloves. If she did, that raises a rather important question, and highlights quite a contradiction. A contradiction, you say? Really? If we listen again to the conversation that was captured by the stuffed cow, you'll soon see what I mean. I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and I will finally have my revenge. We can be reasonably certain that what we just heard is the moment the victim was attacked. I knew it was you from the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. We assume that those were the words of the killer. And where's the problem in that? Seems like a perfectly sensible assumption to me. I'm afraid not, Chairman the Best. For you see, if the victim was always wearing gloves as you just testified, then the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to her killer.
Objection.
You speak as if gloves can't easily be removed. She could have easily taken them off during the auction. That's... But she hadn't. She was still wearing them when I changed places with her. So they must have been on her hands when she was being murdered too. What are you saying, my dear? You know how much... Oh, that hurt my throat. Ow. You do know how much trouble you're in if you don't. I'm not scared of you anymore. I have Grandma on my side now. Now it's time for you to pay the piper at the best, you dang devil. I see. So you're both looking to disappear, too. Oh, wow. Excuse me. So this is a threat. This is a threat. That can be arranged. Not this time. Not this time. I keep trying to say Hank the best, and it's making me laugh. Not this time, Hank the best. The only person disappearing will be you.
Objection.
Hey, you can't talk to my dad like that. Who cares if the burn was covered up? What does that even mean?
Objection.
Oh, it matters. Because it turns our understanding of the burn mark on its head. What do you mean? What can the fact that the victim's burn mark was covered up possibly tell us? The murderer had a burn mark too. The victim didn't have a burn mark. There were no burn marks at mark. Oh, the murderer had a burn mark too. Think about it like this, Mr. DeBest. The victim was wearing gloves, therefore the burn mark on her hand would not have been visible. In which case, whose burn mark was it that was being referenced in the recording? Oh yeah, no, Courtney renamed Blaze to Hank, and everyone jumped on board immediately, and I love that for all of them. In which case, whose burn mark was being referenced in the recording? Somebody who wasn't the victim? Precisely, which can only mean that the culprit had a prominent burn mark too. Or, to put it another way, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn mark from me. Those words were spoken, not by the murderer, but by the victim. No! Why?
Objection.
Sebastian, my boy, would you mind stepping aside for a sec? Look, Miles, it's nice to see you having fun with your flights of fancy, but let's get serious. So the murderer had a burn mark now? Really? Where? Your little theory will either take flight or die. Depending on your answer here, I'm afraid. He's not messing around. I have to figure out where that burn mark was, and fast. I wonder where it could have been. All of the auction people were wearing disguises, right? Yes, and each disguise was different. Yet, in spite of that, the burn mark was visible to the victim somehow. Which means... he didn't have a tattoo! Florence mistook what she saw. It wasn't a tattoo.
It was a burn mark.
Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence.
Take that!
Here, this ought to tell you everything you need to know.
Fuck, did I present the wrong thing? I presented the wrong thing. Shit. I need to present the appearance. For some reason, I thought it was in her testimony.
Here, this ought to tell you everything you need to know. About the location of the murderer's burn mark, dear boy, that doesn't tell me anything at all. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. Ugh, I got it wrong. How would the ringleader have looked when Ringer saw the burn? If I just focus on that, the answers should come to me. Alright, Miles, let's stop wasting time, shall we? Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence.
Take
I
that!
just presented the wrong one. I have the right idea, though.
Here is my evidence. The outfit the ringleader was wearing throughout the auction. Or rather, the outfit you were wearing. Chairman's best. Oh, what exactly is that supposed to tell us, huh?
Objection!
A suit, white gloves, and a mask. This disguise should have covered almost all of your skin. But according to Nurse Needler's testimony, the auctioneer's mask didn't quite cover your entire face. And not only that, she claims to have seen a tattoo on part of... Why did it skip over that? On the part that was exposed. But was it a tattoo, or did she simply mistake a burn mark for one?
Also, can I talk about how stupid it is to pick the single mask that would show off your prominent burn mark? Stupid idiot, Hank.
A burn mark? On the face?
Objection!
Sorry to interrupt while you're so clearly enjoying yourself, dear boy. But I regret to inform you that none of the committee members have such a burn. Myself included, of course.
Pull up your beard!
But, Dad, I mean...
Sebastian, do you think you can be quiet, please? You can be foolish on your own time later.
Well, you may be an annoyance most of the time, Mr. DeBest. But on this particular occasion, I'm grateful for your presence. A reaction like that from you, his son, is as good as an indicator of the truth as I could have hoped for. And it gives me a much-needed confidence boost, according to another theory of mine. Namely, who that one unexplained item belongs to. What's the matter, Mr. DeBest? What's the matter with Mr. DeBest? I think he might still be in shock. After all, he's usually the last to figure things out. But in this case, he seems to have gotten there all too quickly. He knows that his father is indeed the real murderer.
Yeah, no, Franziska's plotting murder, and I think everyone here would happily turn a blind eye.
He's sad because he knows the truth. So it's better not to know the truth at all. No, Kate, it's what we came here for. It doesn't matter how we get there. The important thing is finding the truth. You yourself told me that once, right when I needed to hear it the most. And now it's time for me to repay the favor and show you the truth of your innocence. I want to know, too, the truth of what really happened. So please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you show me? I very much intend to. You don't know when to give up, do you?
Where is that burn, then? Perhaps you could point it out to me. But you can't, can you? Because it's nowhere to be found, just like your evidence that I'm the killer. Dude, imagine the world where Florence put on the curly wig instead. Because she just thought it would be... Or, like, Rosie wore her hair wavy that day, so Florence put on the wavy wig. And then Hank is sitting there like, shit. Shit. That's the wrong wig. But I can't say that's the wrong wig, because then I'll be fucked!
Yeah, a hunt for contradictions. All you like. You won't find any. Because he's my dad. That's through and through.
Objection!
I understand, Mr. DeBest. I completely understand why you don't want to believe that it's true. But if you ignore the truth now, you'll regret it for as long as you live. Dad, what do I do?
I just don't understand it. How could I raise such an utter buffoon? If you really wish to help your father, Sebastian, you can try thinking on your own for once in your life, you useless nitwit.
But I
try all the time, Dad. All I do is try. I went to the school you wanted me to go to. I aced every test. Look at my jacket. They only give these to the valedictorians. I did everything you told me to. I worked like crazy and graduated top of my class. I tried to be just like you and win as many trophies as I could.
Objection!
Oh. Oh God, Hank just burned up Sebastian's diploma. No! That's what Hank's been burning this whole time. He's burning important documents related to Sebastian. You really are just a simpering simpleton, aren't you? Those tests you aced? I had the school give you your perfect scores on all of them. Those debates and speech competitions you won? The judges were all friends of mine! If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all. Well, you're just the shittiest of shit fathers, aren't you? You're no son of mine! Even you must see that. God, my own son. They all leave in the end. Dude! Someone throw this man out a window! Oh, I mean, even when he was trying, he was failing. And he did it all for me. And I should have tried harder. You are the worst person ever. You're a disgrace. You don't deserve to be a father, and you certainly don't deserve to be a chairman of this committee. Even I feel sorry for the boy now. Poor Mr. DeBest. And that's what the adoption papers went through, ladies and gentlemen. Explain yourself, Chairman DeBest. Just why do you think your son... Just what do you think your son... Jesus Christ, I can't read, sorry. Explain yourself, Chairman DeBest. Just what do you think your son is to treat him in such a way? An utterly useless pawn. Sounds about right. But you're one to talk verity. You tried to worm your way into my trust by using Sebastian too. Yeah, throw him through the window! I cannot deny it. However, I have never thought of him as a mere pawn. He may not be a naturally gifted prosecutor, but he tries. In some way, he tries harder than anybody. That's what I have witnessed during my time with him. Yet you could call him useless. How could you?
Objection!
Oh, because he is Verity, my girl. He's utterly incapable of doing anything I ask him. Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering. Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment unto Hank DeBest. Thank you, Your Honor. I've been more than ready to do so. Yeah, no, Miles is like, well, if you don't want him, I guess he's mine now. If the ringleader has a visible burn mark on their face that night, then it would follow that Chairman DeBest is currently hiding that mark somehow. How exactly was he dressed during the auction? That will be the key to solving this case at last.
Now then, your answer, please. Which piece of evidence will help us reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face?
Now we need Flora's
Take
statement.
that!
This is giving me the same excitement as defeating Von Karma. This is incredible.
Recall Nurse Needler's testimony, if you will. There was one thing we never quite resolved. The second wig, the one that wasn't used. I seem to remember it being wavy. What are you two talking about?
Yeah, no, Hank is like, why do you keep calling me Hank? Have I missed a joke?
Nurse Needler apparently found some very interesting items when she went to swap places with the victim.
And what do they have to do with the burn mark?
What she found was 2 wigs. One was intended to make her look more like the victim. But what was the other one for? I don't suppose it was meant to be a spare. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to see the truth. Compare Chairman DeBest's current appearance to that of the ringleader as it was described to us.
Stop it. Stop staring at me.
One very prominent difference presents itself. His face, or rather, what's around it.
You mean...
It wasn't a wig after all. Indeed, not a wig intended to go on the top of his head in any case. It was a fake beard all along, wasn't it, Hank the Best?
No! Burn it away! This is all my own, dear boy. It would be so funny. It would be so funny if in his sprite sphere, where he's pulling at his beard, he pulls too hard, and it just comes off his face. That would be so fucking funny if that's how he reveals it, and it's not even right now. It was like half an hour ago when we were doing the first bits of all this, and he's pulling on it, and it just comes off, and everyone sees the burn mark, and they're like, oh, hey, what you hiding there, buddy?
How very unkind of you to suggest otherwise. We saw how your son reacted when he realized the truth, and how he desperately tried to cover for you, even in the light of his realization. Yet you still feared that he might expose you. So rather than take the risk, you bullied him until he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that your beard hides a prominent burn mark.
Yeah, it's the actual reveal, Beather. Okay, I'm trusting you on this one.
Chairman DeBest.
I insist that you remove your beard this instant! That is the best sentence ever!
Okay.
You're right, that is a Beather reveal!
There it is. The burn mark. Mr. Edgeworth, for bringing evil to justice before the eyes of the goddess, you have my thanks. No, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Hank the Best. In the name of the goddess, I hereby pronounce my verdict. In the matter of the murder of Miss Rosie Ringer, this court finds you guilty.
I like that the burn is in the shape of a skull, too. That's hilarious.
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't thank you enough. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That was very kind of you. There's no need to thank me. As a prosecutor. No, as a friend. It was the least I could do. Mr. Edgeworth, rejoice. I've learned that Chairman DeBest has been safely delivered to the detention center. The search for the missing auction hammer continues. However, We are talking about Chairman DeBest here, so it's highly likely that it has already been destroyed. In addition, there is one other matter I must inform you of. The chairman made a rather strange statement. According to him, the letters were not part of his plan. What? How could that be? He claims that he and Miss Needler found the letter on Miss Ringer's person. And they found the second letter on Kay's unconscious body. From their contents, the letters seem to be ones of correspondence. So he leapt to the conclusion that they must have been working with each other. That's quite the conclusion to jump to. As he read the letters, that's when he came up with the idea to frame Miss Faraday for Miss Ringer's murder. So he decided to place the victims in a very conspicuous place. Namely, in her left chest pocket. It sounds to me like he's just trying to make excuses for himself. Yes, I certainly thought the same. Perhaps it was some sort of last-ditch ploy on his part. But it matters not. He will answer to the goddess now. And under her scrutiny, such strategies cannot hope to succeed. He will not escape justice. And with that, one of the duties with which I have been entrusted with is complete at last. Judge Gavel, before you go, can you tell us what you know about how Chairman DeBeth came to murder Miss Ringer? There's more there, isn't there? Yes, and I suppose you have earned the right to know the whole truth. Miss Ringer once had a lover, a press photographer. He was investigating the underground auctions as a freelance journalist. But before he could uncover the truth behind the auction, he was disappeared. All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and the personal facts of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman DeBest, she made her appearance at the auction. Unfortunately for her, her opponent struck first. I see. So there's a story behind this case. Well, the goddess does not condone the acts of wanton vengeance. Miss Ringer's actions have exposed Chairman DeBest's crimes at last. So that was your real goal. You were tasked with exposing Hank DeBest and the corruption at the heart of the committee.
It's certainly worth it, but it takes my brain a whole minute to remember what exactly I'm supposed to call Hank. Every time I see his name, I have to take a good second to remember what names we're using for him.
Does anyone know what happened to Mr. DeBest? I am afraid I haven't been able to get in touch with him. Do you have any idea why? Probably because I wasn't there for him just now when he needed me most. Oh. I really feel bad for him. Well, don't pity him too much. At least he knows the truth now. And no matter how hard it might be, he'll need to learn to accept it. If he can't, he'll never be able to move on with his life. Trust me.
Yeah, no, it's the parallels between Franziska and Edgeworth and Sebastian are so painful. Father's influence isn't easily erased. But in time, he can hopefully try and change his ways.
You're right. You've got to be. I can change too. I wonder, can I move on with my life?
Are you okay, Kay? How's that head feeling? Edgeworth just needs to figure out the adoption papers, and then Sebastian will be home safe.
I'm fine. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Kay. You were my patient. I had a responsibility to you, and instead I let them accuse you of ouch.
Dang right! We ain't just in the business of fiction bodies, Missy. The mind's where it all begins. You're right, Grandma. Speaking of which, how's your memory? It's like, with a little more time, maybe I'll be able to remember some more. Please, forgive me, but I had better be on my way. I'm to preside over the trial of Fifi Langard in a bit.
Fifi. That name is familiar. Oh, she's the prison warden.
The Bronco Knight case, huh?
Who's the defense attorney?
It was supposed to be Miss Ringer, but as she's no longer with us, we are still in the process of finding her replacement.
Miss Ringer was scheduled to represent Warden Langard.
And of course, until we find Sebastian, there's nobody to act as prosecution either. In any case, I must take my leave. Wait, please. What about Mr. Edgeworth's badge? What's going to happen to it now? With its chairman under arrest, the committee's activities have been suspended for the time being. So, to answer your question, it's complicated. It's all up to the goddess now. But...
Don't worry about it, Kay. It's a consequence of my own making.
I assume you don't mean to change your mind?
Of course not. I choose the path of truth, and I choose it willingly.
With Chairman the Best out of the picture, justice is in the hands of the righteous once more. If you did wish to follow the path of the prosecutor again, Mr. Edgeworth, I would be more than happy to facilitate such a decision.
It's very kind of you to offer, but I can't accept your help at this time. I can't ask for my badge back when I'm not even sure if I want it anymore.
I see. It seems we are destined to continue on different paths then.
Well, I'll trust you keep my badge safe until they converge again.
With all I have. In the meantime, I have here a token of the goddess's mercy. You may return this notebook to its rightful owner.
Kay's promise notebook.
It seems it was due to be sold in the auction, and with the name K written on its cover. Chairman the Best made the connection immediately and knew who it belonged to. It was the same name as the one in the letters, after all.
The letters he claimed to know nothing about. I suppose he insisted he didn't prepare them.
Yes, he also had something else to say. Apparently he thought that Miss Faraday was after her notebook and that Miss Ringer was after his life. And that their respective goals are what led them to cooperate and infiltrate the auction together.
Unfortunately for him, he misread the situation completely. It was all just happenstance. If Kay had known a defense attorney who was also a member of the committee, there's no way she wouldn't have told me. That just isn't like her.
Your belief in her is touching. Well, the notebook did become part of Chairman de Beth's cover-up scheme. It is also a treasured possession of Miss Faraday's.
Yeah, first a good vacation, and then we'll get the badge back. Don't worry.
Which is why I would like for her to have it back, as I'm sure would the goddess.
Thank you.
I pray that it helps her recover her lost memories. Is everything all right?
Judge Gavel wanted me to return something important to you.
Oh, isn't that... Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Daddy, I wrote them all down, Daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna keep all my promises and be a real hero when I grow up, just like you. Oh, wait. I forgot to write one down. The most important of all. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about new things you don't understand. I remembered it just how you said it. And now I'll never forget it. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. That's right. I have to try. I'm Kay Faraday, the great thief who will do anything to get her hands on the truth. Second Yatagarasu, an assistant to Mr. Edgeworth. Kay, is that really you? I can't say I'm not a little bit embarrassed, but yeah, I'm back. And I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Edgeworth. You never stopped helping me even when I was a total lost was totally lost and couldn't remember anything. Thank goodness. You certainly seem to be back. Yay! So this is the real you, huh? Welcome back. It's so good to know you're better. I can sleep easy now. Now that you found it, don't you dare go losing that memory of yours again, young lady. You hear? Miss Needler, Dr. Hertz, thank you for looking after me.
Okay, but they're both, but like Florence is definitely going to prison, and Dr. Hertz is having her license revoked like immediately. And Miles immediately hugs her, yes.
And if you really are better, how about you get out of them dang hospital duds? Oh yeah, I washed all your clothes for you. Here.
I thought they were with Detective Gumshoe.
He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics.
Oh, most certainly. Oh, most certainly. Kay most certainly called Edgeworth Dad in that moment. And did he happen to mention if forensics found anything of note?
I didn't ask. Anyways, never mind that now. I'll put them on Kay. But, oh wait. Anyways, never mind that now. Put them on Kay. I want to see.
Wait, what about her bandages? Surely it's too soon to remove them.
Oh, it's probably fine. She may have taken a big old bump to the head, but she wasn't really hurt otherwise.
But then why are the bandages in the first place?
Prevention is better than a cure. A stitch in time saves 9. Those are just a few of my mottos.
Both of which sound like painfully annoying practices for your patients.
Okay. Okay, Kay. Transformation time. Yeah. Now this is what I'm talking about. Fits like a stolen glove.
That smile suits you better too.
As it always did. Thank you too, Miss Von Karma. I'm so glad you showed up when you did.
I simply came when Scruffy asked me to. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that you're back to your old self too.
Speaking of Gummy, where is he?
Who knows? Perhaps the well of his devotion ran dry when a certain someone threw away his badge. Detective Gumshoe. Anyway, I have to be going, and I'll be taking those two with me.
Wait, what's gonna happen to them?
Acting as accomplice in a murder and forging an autopsy report 18 years ago. Their crimes can't be allowed to go unpunished. But the fact that Hank the Best coerced them into cooperating will, of course, be taken into account.
Don't you worry about us, Kay. As long as Grandma and me are together, we'll be all right.
Well, considering you'll be in jail longer than her. Yeah, no, Kay takes the bandage off her eye and she's like, guys, I might still have a problem here. I can't see shit out of this eye. Take care, Kay Faraday, until we meet again. So, Kay, I know you only just got your memory back, but I need to ask you some questions.
Sure, ask away.
What happened the day you lost your memory?
What were you doing? Let's see. Someone asked me to meet them at Gourd Lake. But I didn't know who it was. So there I was looking up at the moon when somebody in a red raincoat started walking towards me. They must have drugged me somehow because that's when I fell unconscious. What? I'm not sure I follow. Kay was at Gold Lake looking up at the moon.
So that's how she saw someone come towards her from a position they couldn't be.
Anyways, when I came to, I was on the roof of this building. I was in a day and stumbling around up there when I saw the person in the red raincoat again, but they were lying on the ground. I was so surprised I stumbled backwards. And then I was falling, and everything went dark. When I came to the second time, I couldn't remember anything. The person in the red raincoat, who in the world were they? I'm sure they were walking in midair. Ugh. Thinking about it too much makes my head hurt. Just breathe, Kay. You only just got your memory back. You're still confused. I imagine the root cause of your confusion is your memories of two different locations.
No, the name of your promise notebook. You're not actually Kay Faraday.
I imagine things are all mixed up in your mind because you were at Gourd Lake one minute and then at the top of a big building the next. And because you saw the moon in both locations, your mind blended your two memories, blended the memories of the two together. Huh? But those are totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily. I believe these things on the roof may have made you be more likely to be confused.
Hold on. I don't wanna get it wrong. I'm gonna check the. This is the no consequence type one. I just want to get things right, so I'm gonna check the walkthrough quick. I don't know if it's wanting me to point out the two cherry like that both places have a cherry tree or both places have a stand with a red roof. I isn't the walkthrough page loading. Oh, it's either. Okay. Okay, so at least I was correct about what we needed to do. So it's either. Yeah, let's do the cherry tree, because I think I can safely click on that one better.
There were two key similarities between the scenes down by Gourd Lake and here on top of the big building. The cherry blossoms and food stands. Wait, you're right! Those similarities are what caused your memories of both places to overlap. The person in the red raincoat wasn't walking in midair, they were walking towards you from across the park. But in your blurry memories, the same sight played over the viewing platform instead.
Both is good.
No way. Who steals a great thief's memory, huh? That's just cheating. Even still, this doesn't answer the question of who attacked Kay in the park. Was it the person in the red raincoat she saw? Do you hear that? It sounds like it's coming from up in the storeroom. Come on, let's go take a look. Well, howee! I smell another scoop in the office. You're still here.
Edgeworth completely blocked out Lana's existence from his mind, and I love that for him. It's the walkie-talkie.
It's coming from this little gadget here, Mr. Edgeworth. Ugh. It's from Fever. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
Wait! Hold on! Holy shit! Is this the transceiver from the last case of Justice for All? Is this Shelly the Killer? Is this Shelly the Killer? I'm gonna scream.
It's still going. But I'm no good with technology. Come on, you have to pick it up. Fine, I'll do it.
Hey, this is Edgeworth.
Kay, if you could refrain from answering strange calls for me.
Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I presume. I know that voice. Shelly the Killer! I love Shelly the Killer! Congratulations on another case solved. Yet I can't truly say it's been fully resolved, can you? I'm sure you've noticed by now that there was a mastermind at work, orchestrating the entire incident. Ugh. How do you even know about this case? That's not what's important right now. Let's focus on this certain individual for the time being, shall we? I have indeed been wondering, myself, if somebody else could have been involved. If not, how are we to explain the piece of evidence that proved so damning to Kay's case? No way! An evil mastermind? But who? Who indeed? Perhaps you could share your thoughts. What is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement? It's the bull, right? Or... Hold on, this is another one I'm checking. This one doesn't matter. The victims let all the letters, right? No, the red raincoat was Shelly the Killer's.
Take that!
This right here proves that somebody else was behind all of this.
Sorry, I don't get it.
Ah, shit, I presented the wrong one. Sadly, neither do I. Ugh, that wasn't it? There was one clear suspicious piece of evidence. What was it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement? I thought it was either, but okay.
Take that!
The letter K supposedly wrote to the victim.
Yeah, I don't remember ever writing that.
So who did? Who would prepare such a thing? I know I'm not the only one who would like to know.
And how do we know it wasn't you?
I do want to clarify. Are my Edgeworth and Shelly the Killer voices different enough that they're not overlapping? I'm going for vaguely British on both of them, so I fear they might be overlapping. Let me know if I need to workshop the Killers a little bit more. Now why would I do a thing like that? I believe the truth can only fully come to light in a court of law. But since you had your badge revoked, that is no longer an option. So how will it all end? I, for one, will be watching from the sidelines with interest. He even knows about my badge. Oh, and one last thing. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. Okay, as long as they're a little deeper, a little different, like different enough that you can pick out them between each other. Because I don't want them to run together, especially since they're talking directly to each other a lot in this. Now, I bid you farewell.
What the heck did he mean by the case hasn't been fully resolved? Why is he so interested in us anyway? Everything's just one giant ball of mystery.
It seems we've only scratched the surface of this case. But even without my badge, I'm going to carry on doing what I can. However this ends, one thing's for certain. Come what may, I will expose the truth. Hey, we did it! Oh, we did it! Alright. Alright, that is the end for today, though. I've been going for almost 4 hours. My throat's hurting. Which means tomorrow, because I'm not waiting multiple days for this. Tomorrow, we're starting Turnabout for the Ages. This whole case, peak case. Absolutely incredible. I didn't play it yesterday, obviously, because I didn't stream. I wanted to so badly. I so badly wanted to, because I was so interested in it. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, tomorrow, Turnabout for the Ages. We're starting that one right away. I do hope it was enjoyable, though. And I had so much fun.